Yeah, sure.
Alright, back side.
Neither have I, but that's not.
Make sure I'm connected. I'm on the internet.
Sounds like it can just flash.
Try again.
Yeah, with flash drive.
You don't have to flash to use your flash.
Yeah, Alright. Spell affirms. Actually, you can get back up a second. Oh, I should save. Just hit error. Alright, here you go.
Oh, what is it?
I just do the last date modified.
Feeling good?
Yeah, I think so.
Alrighty. Do it.
Cool. I affirm Part 1 is the advocacy plan text was all public college and universities in the United States ought not restrict constitutional speech that criticizes military policies, Wilson 13 rights in the wake of 9/11 active freedom suffered no way but patriotic recognition and appreciation of silence, politics made flag moving, and some political debate, colleges changed policy for advance after 9/11 was a moment of each of the shooting of American policies, the American the freedom required to realize it was more important than ever. Part 2 is framing the role of the balance of the advocacy by 6 at the University of Military Education, reject the call for abstraction, omit everything for contestation, 13 rights the call to reject less political focus, teacher, reduce a mere technician, engage in informal rituals, unconcerned with the consequences of one pedagogy, and should find the role of critical educators with access to higher education cannot be decoupled. Derek calls democracy come down, democracy always open to the possibility of tested the race shifting knowledge and power can be emancipated for clear reasons. For first that ideal theory ships like particulars making ethics and accessible and epistemology to human fibers, theories and takes place in nature around framing protections reflect experience of framing privileged groups of list here crucial reactive abstractly from oppression the aging of future features not the theory requires that people be affected by social location, neither the theory readiness states consequential instead of following rules that assume the art equal playing field we have to take steps to correct the shield justice seconds only consequences relevant physiology university are a collection of people, so they don't have any friends, and even if they do know the way to launch access data for college jobs, qualifications different by agent searches have an obligation to have development, all that be a repugnant for a normal person to do. 3 is conflicting side constraints between the governments will always be violating rights with every action takes only consequences also assigns equal weight to all citizens rather than arbitrarily valuing certain people or procedural methods. Part 3 is the offense in the status quo members of college campus are routinely fired if they criticize military policy and showing effective such sessions. Multiple peers and real examples confirm Wilson 2 rights efforts sounds faculty and students can make up to more likely to speak openly, not only treat active freedom. The versus the Harris was spent after sending an email criticizing military's American policies in Iraq into military abuse over to put a freshman's job at risk of pressure. Kirsten said in Air Force just I fear, so you think I'd support you and your killing tax ground collateral damage. Kirsten would be suspended to go under a post-tenure review, and another tenure professor was suspended for saying that killing is wrong. While conservative contended that a few cases in prove that left-wing thought police are ruled over college campus. Mike sent a survey of academic freedom on the opposite. Left-wing critics of liberties, left-wing critics of the Bush administration saw by far the most numerous and serious violation of liberties. Patriarch practice rates screaming after 9/11, and higher education is uniquely key institution that can provide space for conversation that shift away from militarism. History proves that anti-military stand has been silenced when the state is held on opposing agenda and quieting opposition. Chiku's and Juro 7 rights criticism. The university has struggled to send a long history back from the reinvigorated war waged by neocons against the autonomy of institution that fosters critical thought, which is packing acting on a range scope of forces is much worse today because the Security State, Pentagon, and military individuals who created powerful alliances over Arabian forces are waging a focus campaign against active freedom, providing critical pedagogy named patriotic correctness, place control of what thought instead of classrooms, stands equated with streets and the universities. The winkling on the war on terror, professors advocate a culture of critical engagement, risking levels on American higher education is one of the most crucial institutions where direct performance property identified critical engagement is one of the few spaces where people can think critically and learn about values and refuse obligations of the security state to develop skills necessary for democracy. And academics have used state resources to use it for their academic future to create positive policy change, improving the liberals and university creates concrete impact, slaughtering the rights. University is subject to previously treated only instead of ways the state funded the university provided the research for the growth of diverse forms of knowledge. Professors engage in generating alternate forms of knowledge and informed policy. Professors work with a wide variety of external groups to curb the United States interventions for policies in Central America, predicting that Nicaragua they present thought out policy alternatives. Central America only is a single instance. State supported press exchange expertise with a wide variety of external groups who are trying to change prevailing policy and part towards the method. First, you have to put states seriously to understand scenario planning. Even colleges and politics are generally bad. Scenario analysis of policies is pedagogically valuable, enhance creativity, deconstruct biases, and teach the absence skills. Guard all 16 years. If scenario analysis is teams typically seen in certain policy, it's not limited to this juxtaposed current trends of surprising alternative plausible worlds. So, we just make the scenario analysis useful. The ability of decision makers to imagine is constrained by the taste mental what's in some kind of biases. Scenario also helping us break down conventional thinking and vision, thereby adapt something different for the process and interpret employment strategies and for creativity, overturning the assumption that prevents scholarship from anticipating understanding each transfer. Second, use epistemology about the debate. That's key to making all their circumstances probably tend to sound actually about risk. That's the definition of game theory. Every system do that here as well. So 3 is about the concession of the policy option that we see bad for the AC framing as long as theoretically legitimate. 8.76 the 8 options upwards for offense, which destroys that ground. D-point also means negative has to clash engage with one, which means they get superficial education. C-point pops all their offense. They can read the role of valid and their affirmative. For 5 is theory. First, all theory arguments have an implicit athletic standard because 8 point is harder. It's harder from 8 point is 10 4 6 3 global 2. B-point is strategy. They have an ability to select obviously based off when it's but I speak in the dark. C-point is a pure example 15 rates in late the round negative 61% stats that way nature and balance 5 because proves that the art in round suits are relative to risk value and also appears to take the time let's say I determine if those arguments are true by testing them and weighing them out for seconds using picture patients these big questions feasible require arbitrary invention for the judge around ground. Even if relevance arbitrary length always hit relevance to get away with these 3 stack drop later 1 issue short after shot subset theory which means that theories drop the arbitrary to be courses lose the time trade off checking these scores the actors are RBIs 8 points have flexibility negative and so one either list the opposite stability in the 2 areas ways versus magnitude 200 times 2 becomes 6 2 because I told about couple multiplication makes it nearly possible win. Second probability 2 areas short when you shall think it's 200 theory arguments so the actors are reciprocal layers rather than adding more reciprocal avenues. People is reciprocity only negative top counter because only negatives actors are running top thus the actors in RBI comes to connect unique axis about 5 is no negative RBI as long as one does not read more than 2 shells. It's helps you for drinking these because I want to initiate your gains because you when you can class for 6 minutes and 2 hours to account education brute force now that's especially 2 and 3 because of the technical focus on lava line split 2 hours keeping combat the already existing times 2 6 that value accurate and let's say part of the theory the absolute next when their shell maybe back to the actual and the long 2 hours that's possible to be actual and my shell the short 2 hour shell so it's strategic option back to stay down on one argument to win the 2 hour first structure win go out after is negative because they apply to each round more like a savage community also that's best for convenient interpretation 7 the actors 1 theory meta theory ensures next from being infinite abuse otherwise they'll always win meta theory can I use that ensure they can always engage on theory now lose on the highest level so 8 point is that the theory comes first before all the arguments to determine which arguments can and can't theory and around that's offense on theory logical includes classifications for cane substances takes it out and 9 is that there's no true responses to this underview because that kills one strategy time limitation because it's possible because I'm basing my response off the only see let it true actually answer the underview makes a functional conclusion possible 10 is presume math the side by circumstance case 11 is that semantic circuits are relevant with the pragmatics debate they ultimately concede the authority of semantics means all the reasons why semantics are good are subsumed by pragmatics the best rule for debate is always to be consistent with pragmatics assumption act neutral in every single circumstance.
Okay, 10 and 11, do you extend those?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, starting across. So what was, 10 was presume F, what was 11?
Semantics are irrelevant on T of A.
Okay, just on T?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Well, obviously, it'd be on every layer, but like, there's
Oh, what do you-
semantics absent T, right?
Okay, what do you mean by semantics?
Like, arguments that are like, you should vote negative because like we have the best interpretation of the resolution on a semantic level. It's most grammatically correct or something like that.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, so let's look towards your framework. What constitutes ideal theory?
Any theory that doesn't take into account the past history of oppression and try to fix it.
Okay, that's cool. What is the military?
It's like a part of the government in the United States that operates like offensive sports and defensive through like aggressive action, i.e. like weaponized action.
Okay.
That would also include like counterterrorism, stuff like that.
Okay, so what is like policy? So any like we look towards a policy focus, what is policy?
It's something passed by the administrators of the like military, so or administrators of anything, right? It's a concrete action passed, like taken or passed by the administrators in that group.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, let's go to like the part 5, I guess. So all theory arguments have an implicit afflex standard. What's like the impact of this? So I just need to like how does that function?
So right, if you're reading interp against me, right, like there's an implicit offense to the counter interp, right? Yeah, flex.
Okay, sure. Okay, how does this like solve for like the like side bias or whatever?
The argument would be that it's an implicit argument that being abusive to a certain point is a good thing, i.e. because it makes it so the round is closer to 50.
Okay, so theory comes before the roll of ballot, right?
Yes.
Cool. Alright, what is the 6th point? Aff theory comes lexically prior to neg theory. What does that mean?
Like what lexically prior means, or what way
Yeah.
it means?
No, what does that mean?
That just means like it's not a question of strength of length. It's just a question of like as long as there's some offense to the two-yard shell, that's a reason to vote aff, regardless of how much offense there is in the two-yard.
So as long as you have any piece of offense, you win.
On theory, right? If the 1-yard shell in the 2-yard outweighs the 2-yard shell, like the 2-yard shell wins, then you should just vote aff, right? Regardless of any other layer of the flow.
All right, sure. Okay, so in front. What do you mean by epistemic modesty?
You weigh the probability of the framework times the magnitude of the offense underneath it, and then that gets you an expected value, whoever has the highest expected value wins.
Okay, cool. 12 left. So it's going to be 3 off AC.
Word.
Did you say 5 minutes or 5 minutes?
That was 4.
Cool.
Oh, it's 4 at this tournament, right?
Yeah.
Okay. They got 240 years in the time we lose. So.
Yeah. Interesting.
I don't know, something seems fishy.
Yeah, 3 off AC. Depending on how I'm feeling, I might skip the last off, so I'll tell you. Okay. Everyone good?
1 second. Yeah, me.
Okay. Sam, good?
AC, the writer proposed a role about the spoke for their advocacy the best takes back to university militarism. This was I have read up there on the role about AC the role as I one. How to turn role to legitimate advocacy on the role by whether top county constraints he fixed advocacy 2, what area they must towards I whether role framing needs to determine what counts as militarism and take back to university 3, and then maybe driven by solar rifle 3 post via impacts must be extinguished 4, what kind of theoretical objections to mitigate role about 5, how do you weigh and compare between creating advocacy B's in violation here, here's how violation 5 points. First point is he doesn't say top county over 2, he's establishing militarism and what it means to take back universities 3, the advocacy role about framing don't between relevancy pre post arguments for the app doesn't say theory is relevant the app doesn't provide a method to weigh between alternative advocacies. Say the standards. One is all about that specifying aforementioned conditions the role about it's possible to adjudicate special debate start often to the role about using separate methods, same method, different ways since these arguments are incompatible just for us intervening this ways. Only the role about since it points towards the new debates impossible to resolve with and head since every audience whatever which means the shells part question 2 is to ask you by not reading these conditions make it possible for the strategy because I don't know what belief they value mechanisms. My answer is always not beneficial because by specifying these conditions they can always have a benefit on their own method so I can influence the role about better. Strategies which form the arguments engaging in position 3 critical education the lack specification role about push before the specific I don't know one moves through strategic tactics they'll take make next page when they're words to I'm understanding the place both ways I'm saying how to respond to the position then and job them their position to generalize any form of critical education because of course I'm meaning how the position functions rather than understanding and engaging words and any of the shelf platform engage with the case just reason for interpretation because it makes ways to better engage with the case plus if you don't think role about it if you reason that the role back conspiracy people's my interpretation being true because I wouldn't fit the critical education controls the intelligence towards the role back type of education trying to get these voter French voting experience combat activities and term value adjudicating on big terms of the treated and have seen substance because they every information of all substance are chopped in a survey trees be otherwise they can just take and go for positive change on a theory see the event has already been skewed so there's on the very place but indeed about us to both the better survive through my 2% after the better meaning and serve well and based on the flash the exact text they can interpret kind interpretation of also written violation speech like write down on paper write down on paper for their opponent prior to starting the speech showing the preference this is a case stable context but not having specific text leads to shifting this for norms and makes it impossible for you means we don't know how to concrete rule following the round zone about the arguments unless they give you the interpretation also actually use competing interps got that already. And my beast was just started with their beast. The only reason for me to compensate for the existing disadvantage was for me to be position myself. Don't tell me you're trying to compensate for the existing disadvantage. It's also points to the reason my show comes prior to the K. The beast was just adaptation to compensation. And this means your bad theory debate under notification paradigm and or yes, one theological just because your paradigm means you want to hit that but the reason one rhymes with that theory which we did make them yourself one self like conspiracy seven into 1 or 2 something like either every theory being informed crap other. I don't mean theory these facts to be able to find three norms setting I can't concede into kind of interpretation better when I come to that realization middle ground. So obvious course based arguing for backward debate practices which is the most fair and educational interpretation along the meaning of playing the interpretation not sufficient word I'm not and trying to interpret each standard is internally towards the play in the interpretation doesn't check my shadows so excuse me sorry AC that's 6 minutes wasted and 60 fees for strategic purposes not figuring out what your attitude also instead by sketching speaks less ways to shut that actually when you super vague and CX allows them to shut later. Next off. To negate science truth, the real best in those debating rescues truth the policy doesn't refer this one. The based on game, just like any other debating contender wins, even if there are different ways to play the game, you would not determine who wins based on those factors, for instance, you would not set who won the basketball game based on who shot the best, even if it's most important, you ultimately value who had the most important truth test against sometimes what often is relevant down to face loser, nothing lays down other than the results of the battle means this means even if you have that breakdown impression, it ultimately makes a real difference other than the battle, which means it makes no sense to be the actual world battle. Very best you can write whatever you think is important on the battle, but still very based on the debate, which means it's a question of establishing truth the ball state 3, the balance consistent future debate tells you how the game functions. This means you only have the jurisdiction to turn who's debate because the gold debate the judge has no jurisdiction outside of this narrative. No statement on the Pembroke consideration can be placed before the dual chest and the legal move arguments of the more challenging game. The confidence ignore the argument clearly with the other dual stops to 4. Only by role that's intelligible. Only rules will make sense in terms of practice debate like that. rules themselves not determine how they are formed. There's nothing, for example, inherent in the error that shows which way it's pointing, which direction to go. There must be something in addition to rule directions that they remain, but our interpretation rule must also not determine correct use. Interpretation was determined if correct use. There be no incorrect application rule because any interpretation can be used in accordance with the rule. This also means that the AC rule balances unintelligible ground fifth. Every statement involves in truth, meaning if it's possible to accept it as all emphases on truth as God, include intent ground for again. We cannot recognize the property of things. I realize that this thing is property to be true. That true property of the thing is the joint property of truth. The sentence isomultaneous to balance has the same content. If it is true, isomultaneous to balance. Thus, I can the rest is not true. One, the college university finds the building and buildings occupied by institutional higher education building complex means that the rest cannot be true. Two, the government's obligation from consent to govern Darwin. Written obligations refer to an act of binding with law to include such acts as some favors to agreement the contract by swearing oath and like by writing a contract. Parties obligate themselves to one minute form is by swearing oath. The swear obligates and makes the like hand one person which of whom they swear to. Offense A. The contract was the college not the same meaning. This is no authority to sign obligations of the university. B. Two affirms the paradox. The Constitution is based on the consent of the government, but people don't want the act of Washington Post. The survey found the students draw a distinction between speech and defensive expression to promote racial stereotypes. 69% of colleges should be able to limit these disclosures not dealing to potentially offensive to certain groups of students, and colleges should be able to restrict wearing costumes, stereotypes, certain racial ethnic groups. 3. The United States is defined as Federation of States in a specific territory address, not specify what United States should take action without specification of territory address, which becomes meaningless. Why would they ban a federation called on the set speech, which does not specify the USA Constitution? And these negations linguistically when predicate properties on given subject, except to say that the public college shall not limit speech. We are considering about the public college exists, and this obligation not limit speech could pay. And if an something gets meaning by virtue of its corresponds back to that must obtain true. For example, since the cat's on mat is true if only if certain cats on certain mats false otherwise. And linguistic negation of the rest comes first because because saying true the policy of the rest is constituent of and linguistic clarity of the rest of current substance arguments because those cry further interpretation outside the constituent rules. I'm gonna skip the next stop actually. Go to the AC. Let's start on there. So in the method part, on the third point, basic testing possible because AC is bad for AC as long as it's theoretically legitimate. But one, there's no reason why theoretical legitimacy of AC would never matter in the context of a true testing. So in true testing sense, there's no jurisdiction to vote on any type of legitimate theoretical justification. Not another rule about it. The only thing the judge can actually guide in the constituent rule, the judge would be any type of notion of true testing. First, they say move 6 means AC often, but one, there's no reason why the 6 means is always going to actually matter. 2, they can still conceptualize how the AC actually frames truth. That's the frank evidence. At this point in the alternative rule about which we can all have all their options in there. Then they submit the negative has never actually clashed with the after one. The problem is that I'm never actually able to clash the way the AC wants because the AC has inherently skewed around already by reading this alternative rule about which means never any way we can actually engage in this. Then let's go on to fifth part of the interview. First, they say all theorems are type close afflex standard. First, I guess counter-interpretation. The arguments do not have to close afflex standards. First, because one, one, the AC is always able to launch things like they have some type of inflex, but it's never anyway to characterize this rather than needing specific arguments or why the flex is specific to the specific interpretation. If they're going to try to send this answer my interpretation, then you say why specifically the afflex abilities can outweigh the interpretation. I.e., I can suggest that the way that my interfunction means I can't actually engage in the AC whatsoever, which means it's literally infinite abuse. Just because egg with a few more rounds doesn't actually mean that the AC gets to literally prevent an egg from winning into rounds, so they can actually they can be winning there. But then on these 6 points, that's about after you've done 2 private negative. But one, there's no reason why I ever evaluate AC theory first. They say there's no time to actually win theory. But one, they can just get past on these things too. They can do better type of weighing arguments. There's no reason why the AC uniquely app theory always needs to come first. It's sort of weighing these stories. So yeah, I didn't read the third off.
Alright, cool.
Ready?
Give me 1 second. Alright. Let's start. So let's talk about the reasons why buildings cannot take actions. Why is college and university just buildings instead of like the administration?
Sure, that's the definition I use. You can use like a counter definition.
Okay, why is this definition the best definition?
I'd say it's the only definition in the round.
Okay, so if there's any reason for that definition that comes first, that's fine. Let's go on to the Kripke argument. What is the warrant for why it must be false?
Sure, because in order to say if a statement is true or false, it needs to be just like in order to say a statement is true, it needs to be like legitimacy and justification behind like the assumptions of like that specific claim. So if I say that there are inherent assumptions of the resolution that are false, that renders that are not true, that renders the resolution not true, so it's false.
What is the warrant for that?
Sure. In order to understand a declarative sentence, i.e., say if something is true, then you need to understand if like the assertions within it are true. It's a pretty simple thing. Like if we just know a statement is like not true, then it's false.
But if a sentence is nonsense, what does that mean it's false rather than just like nothing?
Sure, it just means it's not true. Why does something being not true mean it's false?
Well, one, you can like make those arguments, but two, I just say negate means to deny the truth of, which means I would just need to show that this statement is not.
Alright, you say it's to prove the truth or falsity of the resolution, not the not true.
Sure. To negate means to deny the truth of.
Alright, but that's not what your role of the ballot text is. Let's go on to the interpretation. Where do you justify why all the side constraints and all this blanks of your interpretation for your role of the ballot?
I meet like all of them.
Where do you say how a topicality functions as a side constraint on this?
Sure, because I say that the third point there would say that you have to, it conceptualizes that you need to be able to evaluate who says the truth or falsity of the resolution. I flip the rule about text means the res is a constraint, so you need to be topical.
Alright, where do you show like how pre-fiat and post-fiat distinctions must be made and how you weigh between comparative advocacies?
Sure, the second point says fiat is illusory, so there's no conception of fiat, rather just a conception establishing where something's like.
But this doesn't determine if the debate is solely determined by the flow, right? You could use it like truth testing, then also just have like a very lay judge, right? Or just like person who just like votes. You should just vote on ethos.
Wait, sorry, what?
All right, that's fine.
I say that like the judge needs to evaluate like truth or falsity claims, which means it's driven by the flow. Like.
All right, that's not justified. That's fine. Let's go on to the voting section. Is there anything within this section that is not linking back to like the framework of theory?
Can you be a little more specific?
All right, that's fine. I know that there's an interpretation here. What's the so wait, what do I have to do to meet this interpretation? You need to write down the text of my interpretation.
Yes, you need to like, if you want to meet the interpretation, you have to say how you meet the 5 planks that I read. Or if you want to read a counter interpretation, you have to write down the counter interp as well as write down like the I meets.
I need to write down I meets. Why do I need to write down I meets?
Sure, because that implies how we meet the interp.
Right?
I just like
I
need to
can
write.
just like hear it. Why do I need to write down like literally?
Because then you
everything?
can't like hold you to that, right? It becomes impossible to like understand that's what.
What? It's just a hearing arguments. Learn to flow, man. It's fine.
You can contest that point.
I will. Sir. Alright, stop prep.
No prep.
113 left.
You're gonna be looking flash me.
Yep. view off, then the NC shell, then case just on the under view, the NC, and then if time another off.
All right, so new off and new Santos. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Is the second off here the one you might guess at the end?
Yeah. Let me know when everyone's ready.
All right, I'm good.
Cool. Interpretation. If the debater reads an offensive theory interpretation, they must read it as a separate off or an explicitly numbered underview. They not read it with any things like if the interpretation is a lock text violation. Is that healthy? When it's actually absolutely joke. It's literally just an interpretation hidden underneath the interpretation justifies. I hope the C stand versus clash and both your interpretation. You're obviously just going to extend it as a hidden spike. If I do not answer the argument, which 8.2 clash was zero, you don't have to respond to the rest of the flow. And I think the interpretation only are just going to send arguments to be that automatically taken on that theory. B point is it makes it possible to affirm against all or weak IDs or 23 arguments. Check these because you'll just extend to check out the arguments now. Actually just read the second off here. Interpretation of the debater may not read multiple arguments that undermine the assumptions of resolution violations that they do. In the one to see the read 3 arguments for the one to the NC of the resolution is impossible. C stand first cross. They can win on any of those arguments, but I have to read out all of them and with case arguments as a near forward one to you, which makes it impossible to affirm rest after two branch controls access to the ballot. Now crossed by all the voters. They're all bidirectional. They're not. They should also definitely be because rest cross. Also all the arguments from the receipt are conceded, which you extend right here reason why the applicants are debater and the interpretation is reasonably no argument. Now the counter-interpretation on the theory, this both an offensive counter-interpretation and an interpretation. This counter-interpretation if at negative reads a theory shells that require the app to specify something, then they must explicitly read the theory interpretation and cross-nation asks the app to comply. If the app chooses to comply, then the app must explicitly break down what the negative wants and requires from the second VIE. This is exactly what I would do if you would have been also you do not do this, which means that functions both the C stand versus times to specials if we read because of automation. I use spec country, spec implication, spec framework. Means that interpretation means the app only specify what the negative wants and you don't have to wait till a large portion of the receipt document anything to negative to 180 or you also link turns to shell spectral traits off the self ID specifies how the app is split and means I let's spend less time on how you can explain how the standard operates. Second solves all their offense I would comply with transformation which solves back other than they say I think the knowledge of the arguments of CHS and solves 6 minutes AC reference. First they have not warranted why that 6 minutes is important. Second disclosure solves if you want to use that for the round or discloses interpretation say that which would necessarily mean that I would just change the one which also here because it shift your accuracy because it wasn't cross nation. First no I write down what it is in cross nation for you which means that solves your offense. We're going to be able to shift out and just written down on text interpretation solve back your offense. Also times your argument definitely always because it calls a point makes it a function impossible to affirm because it's been every time specifying D.8 I wasn't probably debaters we expect all the time right now. There's almost never abuse on the stream. Probably compared to more important now as an overview to the interpretation. First there's no abuse here. These arguments are not arguments like advocacies. I.e. that once you're affirmative but just definition says it's questions of arguments that you can make. I.e. you could question and consider those arguments. It's not something I need to tell you what it is. I.e. it's so much that you should make arguments on. Which shows back all your offensive reasons why you should just make arguments don't want to see. Also link trends your arguments in the world of your interpretation. I just determine what things are, but in your world I give you the possibility to contest things which necessarily keep necessarily I wish your offense makes it necessarily impossible for because otherwise just make arguments why I would make arguments why like the accuracy is a function on terminal so I can be the offense success or cross-nation link turns all your offense and solves 100% of it which means you don't have no offense here. Now let's go to the bottom of the theory interpretations and just let's actually go into the AC just to the way between the arguments the way to the arguments using the argument why you evaluate after you less of the card negative because you get the long term to go for everything which solves like all your offense. You say your 8-point argument was like for 1 second, I probably shouldn't have said, and you also say it says function false, I can just go more technical, but no, it's not possible. It's a question of time in the first place, i.e. that the tutorial is 3 minutes long, which is definitely not possible to go over so many layers in the last speech for solving arguments. They just make better winning arguments. No, obviously strength of link is important. If we do not win this argument, this necessarily comes first. Also, if you know why this argument strength of link definitely outweighs, and I'm so much in this argument since my shells are obviously true, like tradition is a very privileged, which means I'm going to be winning that in the next speech. You say that you make the argument at the bottom of your shop about why I force you to be abusive. First, no, purely not to be abusive. Always have to be plenty of you have engaged with the one see fairly before, which is passion purely not. You made the autonomous choice to be abusive. So, like now, let's go on to the NC proper. Just one for the impact train. Don't click key argument. Obviously, there's no more here. It's a question of if you said if the resolution is nonsense. That's the case. Now, it's a question if it's true or false, which you have conceived presumption for which is the other evidence. The pure argument is conceived. It's a question of you don't test the argument. That's good. Triggers presumption. Just a question of if it weighs on theory, which I'm not going for. Which like your offense. So it also means it necessarily outweighs if there's at all close on the cryptic debate. If you're confused, you should affirm it all, or affirm it all. You should probably err out because there's a side bias.
Okay, I had one more. So it's going to be Marshall starting in the voter section. Then it's going to be on, so Marshall starting in the voter section, then on like the MC, the truth testing stuff. And I'll signpost from there because I'm not sure where I'm going yet.
Okay, cool. Your shell starting in the voter section, is that what you said?
Yeah, starting in the voter section. Okay, is everyone good?
Yeah.
Okay.
First, he just made a really shitty argument responding to this, just trying to say that he felt like that there's some type of hidden spike in the intro, but unless you specifically got a violation saying what that spike was, don't give any type of leeway there. He tries to say there's a hidden spike like in the voter section, but there's no explanation what that is. The violation's super key. But then two, he gets to the point that there's their flashing text or interpret counterpation, as well as have a written violation in the speech doc, which means one, they don't have a written violation, which means they don't make this out at this point in the interpretation, even if they're trying to say that they are indicting this one. That's not the specific violation that they read coming out of their shell saying that I have a hidden spike here, but two, it also means that you can actually ever valid text, don't know what the violation is, so you have nothing to actually hold me to in that context. So once they have a written violation, which you can literally look at the speech doc, it just has the text, the interps there. There's no written violations, there's nothing you can hold me to or punish me for. So you can never actually validate that. So to the extent that you need a written violation, in this key to one stable context, by not having to take these descriptions between things, always just if I try to get out of the violation, they're just gonna try to reconcept what the violation means. And then except the viewpoint says we don't have a concrete set of rules following, I don't know what I actually did wrong, so no way to ever actually correct this speech, which means there's no reason why you'd ever actually drop me on this, because there's no point in dropping it, there's no reason to ever rectify this. And he can see to the point where he can see to the point where it means that you don't validate the arguments unless they specifically give me all these things, which means you don't evaluate any type of new shells that they read at that point. So the new shells go away. You don't read specific violations. You can't violate. You can't err there. They're gonna try to say there's something about like you err app on the theory, but when this goes completely conceded, so they don't have any offense responding to that. They need a written violation, so you never evaluate there. So at that point, their shells go away. You can't evaluate. But then. Extend the line such that there is only for me to compensate for existing disadvantage was to read abuse this myself. Don't draw me for trying to compensate for this disadvantage one. They try to solve this by saying that a lot of people have engaged in this, and I just made the autonomous choice not engaged with one. It wasn't really my choice, but I don't know how to engage in it. I literally don't know if we care about like pre-post, but it doesn't actually clarify any of the framings of the resolution. Okay, let's get this more clear.
He tries to make the argument saying that there's no abuse story coming out of the interpretation, but the problem is even if there's no specific abuse in terms of they did something like structurally wrong, it still prevents me from properly being able to understand how to engage with it, which means I'm always going to have to go for some form of like up-layering, which means the abusive strategy is going to be justified. His only response saying that I chose to do this and lots of people actually go for it, but the problem is no, I chose to go for this. I think it's fair, which means it doesn't mean that that's the reason why I can never go for it, but also the reason why it takes out the shots because this abuse always going to be justified. They're literally framing down in the first place, which means the entire framing of the AC is what's actually made it so I formulate the strategy between the AC is always going to be blaming for any type of abusive strategy, which means that they think that there's some abuse, that's probably just the reason why you drop them. But then, let's quickly extend the shell. Extend the interpretation by the proposed rule about the scope of the advocacy, the best things like the university, the best sense of how to play out. Then he extend 5 points in this. He tries to say that there's no abuse story coming here, because you can still make Tyler's art, you can still like do the things like link terms. The problem is when we still actually understand a lot of the different spikes. They're saying what things like top cloudy relevant, the way to that was one if we don't know top cloudy relevant, there's no way I actually know how to engage. If I need to have a top of the night advocacy, which means that's not a reason to get outraged. So as long as I have that one by list, that's using both for me there. But then he can send once resolved it, he can see the result goes independent board, which means you need to be able to understand how the round goes. So even if he tries to win any type of offense on his theory shells, he still concedes resolve when it comes to he doesn't really type of resolve with him. So as long as resolve controls the way you write down, i.e. it also controls the way you value the theory debate. So if I'm winning the resolvability comes first, I can completely contextualize how the rest of the round goes. As long as he concedes resolvability, that's the reason you vote for me. He literally doesn't know type of weighing on any type of stance here, so as long as I win that's in as long as I win that's conceptualizes how the judge actually values that, that's the reason you can vote for me right there. He literally there's no opposite. He even tries to say that his shell just indict the way that the shell was running, something like that, but the problem is he completely concedes resolvability comes first, which means the ability to create a decision at the end of the round comes first. None of his arguments indict back to the judge being able to value the round, so that's the reason you can vote there. So as long as they win resolvability, that's the reason you vote for me. But then makes it like more just strategy by saying it's supposed to be a full minute strategy. The ability to concede all the words coming out of strategy, which means once again it proves the abuse story, but two, it gives me reasons why my abuse would also be justified, because if I don't know how to formulate prop strategy, they're probably going to try to say it's abusive in some way, which is literally what they did, which means the strategy argument controls the ability for this, because one if they literally read a fair strategy, and what I said means I would be able to engage, we wouldn't have these three in the first place, so any reason why there's second still abuse, no, it's the reason why I probably just dropped them for initiating this abuse story. So a few reasons theory goes away. The first is the fact that they don't have a written violation, they don't test that. Unless you specifically got that, like in the last speech, as one of the violations coming out of shell, you can easily vote there. That doesn't go contested. Two, you can send the mind abuse justified with their abuse. They only respond by saying, I made the choice to do this, but no, the problem is, the choice I made was in response to the AC, which means the AC was the one who instigated these type of abusive practices, or basically required me to do this. So if there's any reason why there's an abuse story, that's the reason you can vote for me there. But two, then he concedes the resolvability thing. Resolvability thing comes first. You need to be able to make a decision at the end of the round. As long as he concedes resolvability, it's a super easy reason to vote for me. Then he also concedes these strat skew warrants, which means that I don't have anywhere to formulate the strategy. He's gonna try to say that the AC, either the flex arguments or that the AC theory comes linguistically prior comes first, but the problem is there's no ability for me to engage those arguments if the round is either irresolvable or doesn't have the ability for me to formulate strategy. But then let's go on the truth testing arguments. Big mistake about truth testing. He does not do good enough job responding to things like the Nord evidence says the judge has no jurisdiction for anything outside of just the truth or falsehood, which means if you buy any argument, the theory, if you buy any argument that he's winning the theory, that's just read by default truth testing, because one of these theories is not something that impacts back to truth testing, so theory just go away. Rather than arguing with these theory, which is basically red herring last week, you can still vote the judge has no jurisdiction outside of just voting the truth or falsehood, that's an independent reason to vote for me right there. But two, he doesn't have a conceptualize how presumption ever about truth or falsehood. The judge also doesn't have jurisdiction in order for any type of presumption argument, that doesn't establish truth or falsity, i.e. as long as I win the consider feature the role of the word negate, that's the reason why I just need to deny the truth. So as long as I deny the truth, there's such a reason you can vote for me right there. So you can see it's Narden. Narden doesn't have the ability to vote on the constituent feature of truth or falsity. At that point, all the theory standards, or whether it impacts fairness education, all go away. The only one that might matter is probably resolvability, because you need the capacity to actually evaluate how the round plays out. So as long as I win the resolvability standard, all the other standards go away, because I always apply on some other conception of fairness education, but there's no reason why fairness is important to debate round. So at that point, the only thing you vote on is the truth or falsity of the rest. But then, let's extend some things. He tries to say if I read the resolution like incoherent, that's the reason why it just triggers assumption, but one, he literally does not respond to the Cook evidence. The Cook evidence says it makes the result the same as not true, therefore we default as being false, which means that's literally an assumption right there. As long as he's trying to say we just trigger assumption, one, once again, you don't have any jurisdiction over assumption, but two, he can see the second point. Second point just straight up negates. It literally says the government draws obligation based on consent to the government, then the polls argument says that it literally just negates, so there's no obligation in the AC rule, which means that argument doesn't render any type of part of the resolution incoherent. That's literally just arguments that negate. So I'm very kind of super simply. You could probably vote on resolvability saying first, then you could vote on truth testing. Doesn't work presumption, there's no reason to vote there.
Alright. 113, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Cool. Start praying. the NC, just on the Narden, then the theory you interpret about, you must write it down, and then the AC, just on the bottom, on the under the wing, and then his NC shell that he gets.
Alright, yeah, just sign those.
I will. Everyone good? Cool. You say Narden takes out truth testing, but no, but when he said that theory comes first, and that was in the 1C series shell, which means obviously you can't make this new application theory. Obviously, the question is if you fail about something, the first issue means even it doesn't constitute constituent rules, which checks argument. This argument was in the 1C, obviously can't make this new application. That's just a separate argument. Now, the 1ER theory shell, you can see the interpretation says that you must read it off into the theory interpretation, explicit off or explicit on review. Number 2, the violations to see the data do not explicitly told them that it was a joke and that you can call for the NC after round and determine that's where the interpretation is. 6 was also pretty clear, which means that was the violation here, but now the standards are conceded. The Glass standard says that you will obviously send the instruction to follow my interpretation. But exactly what happened this round, which means that was your argument probability is empirically proven, which makes it possible for me to check these also this theory Clash Rochelle is one of the arguments 160 obviously strength of like now it's just a question of which shell outweighs he takes he makes a bunch of arguments, but obviously the argument is not a question of what the interpretation is and what's indicting which, it's a question of what interpretation outweighs, which is not just a theory debate whatsoever. Now let's go to the case arguments just on view. I think the theory Lexi comes forward. This is functionally conceded in the last speech, which said that the applicant does not have an opportunity to win to win in a short 2 yard. The interpretation and the evacuation defense on the counter interpretation in the 2 yard, which means that you have the Lexi evaluate accuracy prior, which also you don't have to think as a weighing argument, rather a procedural argument. Which layer you evaluate first, which means that it's not a question of strength link or weighing or who's in who, but a question of what shell you evaluate first. This argument is conceded also as well, which means that it outweighs on a meta theory level. There is no meta weighing done in the last speech, which means you default to meta weighing here. I did explicit weighing about meta weighing here. A point is strength of link is weighing arguments conceded, but defense on all his weighing arguments. B point is that it gives a specific norms argument why this weighing argument is comparatively more important, i.e. that it affects on all rounds like communal norms, which is the second part of the second part of the spike, rather than what your arguments are just around in this specific round. Which means what arguments outweigh in duration. Now let's go to the NC theory shell. He listed all of the weighing arguments for me, which means I'll check arguments. 8.7 his shell is indicting mine, which means a written interpretation first. Is obviously my interpretation indicting hills as well, which means that you can't evaluate meta theory first, so that you just evaluate which one weighs on all the literature and disability indicting. Second, show meta theory first, justification offered in the last speech, which means you probably default to suggest about straight link in the specific interpretation. All theory operates on the same level, which means that you should probably just vote there. You say you had the opportunity, I forced you to make a use of practice, but even cross by number 1 where empirical readers have engaged themselves in the first place, you made the autonomous choice to be abusive. He doesn't actually answer his argument, just restates his own claim again, i.e. that he was forced to be abusive in an uplayer, but that isn't an argument. You have to respond and actually clash the arguments I made, i.e. that you could you just run a K for 7 minutes, like will this one shell back arguments. I say resolvability, reasons why this checks back my argument. Obviously no, there's no resolvability in this specific circumstance, because that's a question of resolving the substantive debate, but this round is just about theory now, which means that it doesn't apply on this level, which means that arguments outweigh on probability. Second said no, it's just a weighing argument on strength of link, but my lexical arguments take this out. I says it's not a question of strength of link anymore, it's a question of lexical priority. Which shall you evaluate first, which is my theory procedural argument out of the 1C is which means that which will result with the argument on the higher level. Also, which checks the argument. Also, you can functionally exceed the CX checks argument, which means that I can just write back, which you can tell me this, which means that's a lot of defense to resolve these standards, which means that you vote app on strength link on the interpretation in that ways.
We'll be outside if you get anything.
Yep. Can I see thing?
Like voter section or?
Yeah.
Okay. I just highlighted that last week.
Can you go get him? Can you tell him? Yeah, just bring him. Can I see the interpret that shell?
Yeah.
Can you pull up the Narcan card you go for?
Yeah.
I just want to see it. Copy it. You can bring them in.
Yeah, Parker.
You can have this back. Actually, I'm gonna keep this for the art. Cool. Okay, good round. I vote F. Here's why. So let's first start on Narden. The extension in the 2NR is just really bad for me. Like I know the Narden evidence, I know the trick, right? I just don't get what I'm trying to hear in it, as well as you asking him, like the 2AR is correct in this, right? You asked him if theory is the highest layer, you read a theory shell, right? Like it kind of seems like a shift to that coupled with the fact that the extension was really bad. Like I was listening to hear it. I don't have enough in that 2NR, so I think that 2NR is enough. Okay, so then it's a theory debate. Fun. So biggest mistake, Jordan, is you're conceding this argument about how after theory comes lexically prior. So I guess the question comes down to how I evaluate this argument about how the written violation of the argument is taken out by you know what I'm talking about, that claim versus the shell. And you never really contest that it's an interpretation, right? The only thing you can test is, oh, it takes out his argument because it said he didn't write the violation down. But like, these arguments literally both take each other out, right? So the best way would be to decide that is the weighing what's in the round, which is like the after theory comes lexically prior. So if that's the case in general, right, then I don't have to think about this irresolvable theory interpretations, right? Because after theory comes lexically prior. Did you make a modesty claim in the AF?
Yeah.
You should have went for that in the maybe you did go for that, but I didn't flow it. But I don't know. You should have gone for a modesty claim, right? Because you have two conceded shells, right? You're gonna put a bunch of defense in his argument, like just be like, look, like I mean, and that's technically what strength of link is, I guess, kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just could have been cool extended out of the AF.
Wait, so just a question, what did you flow as the violation on the, like, if you have a theory interpret in the, like, voter section?
What do you mean?
Like, what violation did you get in the 1A?
Oh, the violation was that you have an interp inside of your voter section. The call for the voter section is an interp.
Okay, but like, question there. So if the violation isn't specific towards the argument that, like, he needs to have it all written down, why would that necessarily take it out?
What do you mean? His argument is, in the voter section, there is a shell, right?
Yeah.
I look at it, there is a shell. Imagine it this way. If he says, in the voter section, there are words, right? I look at it, I find words in the voter section. That would still violate, it's not as specific of an interpret. You understand that?
Yeah, I just don't get then why like my I guess interp there wouldn't still outweigh because I make the
Well,
argument.
it doesn't outweigh because you can see that after comes first, pretty much. You can see that after always comes
Alright.
first. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I can't really, I mean, as much as like, I would have to value that debate, you can see, like, just an argument that's literally after you come to that's the prior valid arguments. Yeah, so that's how I vote. Do you guys have any questions?
Do you give the resolvability standard any like credence? Because I framed that like controls the way you evaluate like everything in the round.
Yeah, sure. So 2R's response is correct. The debate is shifted just towards the theory debates. There's resolvability arguments on substance. That's a really good response. Ooh, my brother should have 129.9. All right. Anyways, it's still right. Like the strength of link argument is still there, right? So like even if it's like the way that you would have to frame it is. Which is, I think, very hard in a resolvability debate because it's just like I can sign my ballot either way. So I think you're behind going for this argument on a resolvability argument. But let's just say this argument is like a fairness claim. The way that you just frame it is as a controls eternal link argument. But the resolvability is harder just because, right? Like I can always sign the ballot really.
Sure.
Like, resolvability as an independent voter is kind of silly. You know that.
I was just conceded.
No, I
It's
know.
not. Okay.
But yeah, that's how I vote. Do you guys have any questions?
What do you think the optimal 1 hour would have been?
1 year was solid. You should have spent a little more time on substance. So like, just go like, give yourself like, instead of like what 15 seconds on substance you had, give yourself like 35, 40 seconds, right? Make your presumption arguments. Explain why truth testing devolves into presumption, which. I mean, that's a pretty like easy argument to make. What you want to do is you want to isolate one of the arguments. So like kind of like what you did, like the cryptic argument, and what you need to say is that if you wanted to go for this in the 2 hour or if the 1 hour was planned, kind of leveraging it this way, is okay. You might have other arguments why the topic is just false, but this cryptic argument is just like is a skepticism argument that just takes all those arguments out, right? It comes prior to those arguments in the sense that it comes logically prior, right? And that argument triggers presumption. Just because you have an argument, just because the neg has an argument that disproves resolution, doesn't mean that you can't still win off presumption, right? Because like logically, like the cryptic argument just takes everything out, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Does that make sense? I thought it was a good round.